Hi,
Hi
good morning,
there.
Sarah.
Good morning. How are you?
I am great. How are you doing?
Doing well. Glad we're able to connect.
I know I was just thinking about this morning. It's so nice to be able to still essentially meet new people and just have a connection, even for those who are stuck inside. So
Yeah,
thank you for joining us
absolutely.
today. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me.
So, welcome everybody to the Confidence Conversations this morning. I am Carrie Diaz, the founder of Best Friends Central here in Burbank, and this is Sarah Dandashi, and she is a travel expert, an award-winning concierge and hotelier of
Mhm.
Ask a Concierge. So,
Yes.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, happy. I believe today is Happy Friendship Day, by the way. I think I
Oh,
saw somebody.
good. I love that.
I didn't fact
How
check that. So, disclosure, I did not fact check that, but I'm going to go with it. So,
I think it's great and so
yeah.
apropos.
Yeah. So, today we will be, I think, kind of sharing some, I think, ways that you can share about being confident that are a little bit outside of the box right now, especially with your experience.
Mhm.
So, what I want to kick off with is something that I read on one of your Instagram posts.
Oh,
It
sure.
said, so what the heck does the concierge know about control and letting go? And I just thought, oh
I
my
love
God.
that you read that.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that, because I think that a lot of people right now are really struggling with that feeling of lack of control in a lot of areas of their life, obviously. So many of us. So take it away.
Totally. Well, so just a little bit of background with that, because sometimes, I thought sometimes just stop and I take a look at like what I'm saying and sharing, and it's like, okay, well, wait a second. I am like a concierge, and I do work with travelers and this, and it's, sometimes I share a little bit more philosophical or outlook sort of perspectives versus I obviously, talk about great places to eat, see, and do, but that's not all of what I share. And so sometimes I'm like, okay, wait a second, is this coming across and does this make sense? And my whole thing is that, as far as being a concierge, is not only are you giving those sort of recommendations for what to do in a place or how to navigate a trip or an experience, but there is a bit of sort of managing expectations. And I always use this example, which will kind of like lead into this, is that the number of times that I've had, especially like in the summertime, you've got families that come and they're traveling, and you've got the mom, dad, kids, and they're like, there's always somebody that's like just kind of going along for the ride. And then like there's the other parent that's like, I'm planning everything to the T. And then stuff
That's
happens.
me.
And then
That would be me.
they freak out. There's this. And it's like, okay, well, wait a second. Hold on. Everything is actually still going just great. And so a bit of that is also kind of getting people's mindset right about travel, because there are so many variables. And so I found that lends itself so well to really what we're going through right now, because what is it, people that have, if we're feeling anxious, we have this anxiety, or where, one day we're happy, the next day we're sad, the next day we're
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, what's going on, this is not me. um, but it's really kind of distilling it to like, what is that coming from? And that is coming from, you just don't feel like you have control. And it's understandable, because there
Mhm.
are so many things that are outside of our control. So my whole thing is, it's just like making it like a mindset shift and be like, okay, well, what can I control? And not, as I said, actually in that post, not as a control freak. I'm not promoting
Mhm.
everybody to be a
Yeah.
control freak, but I am, suggesting that, maybe you just like focus on one or two things. Maybe you add a morning routine. Maybe you're like, you know what? I've been home enough. I need to start getting active. I'm going to do a 3 mile walk a day. Whatever it is, that you just start building on these things. And once you do that, you kind of focus on those things that you can have control over, like what you're doing, what you're eating, get what you make those sort of decisions. All of a sudden you start feeling better, because you start feeling more like you're in the driver's seat.
Right.
And when you're in the driver's seat, you're less likely to be as anxious or, at your wits end, because you're like, what's happening to the world? Because There's a lot
Right. Yeah.
happening.
You add in a little bit of control into your life, and that gives you a little bit more balance
And
against.
groundedness.
Yeah.
You feel more
Mhm.
grounded
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, exactly. So I read that and I just thought, yeah, that is really, it's really true. And you said you can control the little things like the music that you listen to, what you choose to eat that day. And I love that. I love that so much. And I just wanted you to share that because it does, I think, affect your confidence right now. A lot of people
Completely.
have taken such a hit to their general well-being and their confidence as well. So
It definitely goes completely hand in hand with confidence. And that's a huge thing because, you know, why again are you feeling that a lack of confidence? It's because you're just, you know, you're kind of like questioning, you know, what you're doing or your abilities. But then when you focus on what you are capable of doing, it starts to build the confidence, and it can be something super, super simple. You just start, it's like layering bricks. You just start layering bricks.
Start with little baby steps and add something every day till your day is possibly built out a little bit more full with things that you can control. And then it kind of starts to lessen that voice you're hearing about the negative things that are you're
Or
seeing
the
in
doubt or
the
anything
doubt,
like
like
that.
because you don't have so many people are not able to feel their sense of purpose right now because it's out of their control, right? And so
Yeah.
kind of
Or
starts with
yeah, I mean, what they used to do, they can't do anymore,
yeah.
or whatever it is. I mean, of course. So, I mean, that's a great point.
Exactly. Speaking of what they used to do that they can't do anymore, travel, which is your expertise.
Yeah.
I also saw on one of your posts, amazing, that you kind of share ideas about how to transform your room into a hotel room, which I
Yeah.
thought if you could really speak to that and give the audience some ideas on how to really, what I said was escape with some travel vibes right from your bedroom. So tell us about some ways that you want to share that you love, that we can do that and get our little travel fix on right from home.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is it's like kind of keeping in mind what are like the key factors that, you know, we all know that feeling when we walk into a hotel room, even whether it's a basic hotel room or certainly if it's a luxurious, you know, a luxury hotel room. So it's kind of figuring out what are those key things, and it's understanding like, you know, you so once you kind of start focusing on your home space and fixing those, so as far as the balance, and you're having, you know, two bedside tables, making sure that, you know, your sheets are like really lovely and just comfortable, the scent as well too. I mean, how often do we
The
go
big
into a
one.
hotel and we're like, oh my gosh, the scent, and it really takes you away. And these are just little things. And quite frankly, I mean, even the importance of just being tidy as well too, because when we go to a hotel, I think that's so much of the luxury of it. It's like, oh, you can go away, come back, and somebody's magically cleaned up the room. There's this cleanliness to us. There's lack of clutter because it is a hotel room. And so if we can kind of focus on adding those elements into our personal space, especially because we are in our personal space all the time right now.
Yeah.
So you want to really make it a comfortable place that you can really kind of unplug, but then also, you know, be productive should you need to be productive as well.
Right. And so I used to do interior design as well. And the effect of symmetry in a room, like what you said, almost always most hotels have a very, very strong sense of symmetry. And whether that be with the nightstands, the matching lamps, you know, the matching and also like a minimalism. But so that is definitely something, if people can find a way to add some symmetry, that definitely goes a long way to creating the peace and the calm in your mind, and almost like just a really, really peaceful mindset when you're in that bedroom. And you can't put your finger on it. These are all things I think that you've shared that most of us, we can't exactly identify. Oh, it's because of the symmetry. Oh, it's because this room smells amazing. By the way, like, are there any essential oil scents that you could recommend?
Oh gosh. Not totally my wheelhouse, I mean, but my gut
Right.
would be as far as I mean, obviously lavender is
Yes.
always especially like in the bedroom, you know what I mean, as far as it's like it's calming and all of that. I'm a big fan of that. I don't like overly
Right.
I have a very sensitive nose,
Me
so
too.
I like
Me
it to be
too. So what I do is I
clean.
dilute it so much with the
Yeah,
water.
so I like it
Yeah.
to be clean, nice. It's funny because I have probably like 6 different candles just around me right now. Not all lit at the same time, but I light them depending on the mood that I'm in
Right.
and the feeling that I
Gotta
want to
have
have. Right?
options.
Pardon?
You've got to have options.
Oh yes, always.
I find that I think peppermint, and also a lot of spas will use eucalyptus.
Yeah,
Those are ones that I tend to favor. But so
definitely.
that goes a long way, creating such an easy way, right, to just create a super calming effect. And then,
Exactly. It's just minor. And figuring out, funny enough is that late last year, I went to a candle making workshop. Don't ask. It's things that happen. And I actually made my own candle and it was something, it was like fresh rain, blue cactus, and one other scent. And whatever candle I made,
uh-huh.
I love the scent. I actually ended up reaching out to them. I was like, I know I can't go make my own candle right now, but this is like what I put together. Can you make one for me? Because I just love the scent. So it's kind of finding all those special scents. Oh, somebody mentioned love
Yeah.
geranium. Yeah, geranium's
Geranium.
great.
That's a
Um,
good one. What's the other one? The white flower, gardenia.
Gardenia. Yes, gardenia. One of my favorite flowers. It is a very delicate flower, so it's hard to have obviously like live and around, but it's also a very um the scent is very strong. So you
Yeah.
just need to have it in an
Tiny.
appropriate dose.
Yeah. You know what? It's so funny that you're a travel expert and we're talking about scents, which is amazing. But I wonder if there's places that you have visited around the world that have a particular that you remember, an
Every
amazing
place.
scent that we could kind of use, like you said, at home to invoke a really fun travel experience. Maybe we want.
Well, I think a lot of it just kind of depends on what maybe has picked up for you. Certainly,
Mhm.
I was in the south of France last year for a conference, and again there with like the fresh lavender that I was able to
Right.
get at the markets, and I have that, and it there's something about it when you can tap into those scents in a different place. It smells different.
Hmm.
It smells different, I think, than the United States.
Oh yeah.
Also, have you noticed even with food?
Yes.
I remember on that specific trip I was there, I was having lunch with my mother and two of my other friends. And I had a salad, there wasn't anything crazy. And I take a bite of the tomato and I was like, oh, this tomato tastes like the south of France. And it's like, well, yeah, it was grown here. But I mean, if you, as far as like scents and flowers and smells and even what you're eating, they really can absorb the places that they're from. So I think that's kind of
Mhm.
interesting to just keep in mind and pay attention to.
Yeah, no, for sure. Jill just said again, it's the strongest memory sensor,
Yeah.
which makes
Oh,
sense.
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
All right, so those are all really great tips. And I think, how about let's pick your brain a little bit more.
Sure.
Or obviously, we can't really travel right now, but because that really is your expertise, and for anyone that's joined late, I'm here with Sarah Dandashi. Did I pronounce your name
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. She is an award-winning concierge. And so we are picking her brain about out of the box ways that we can find confidence right now, while we are, maybe some of us are feeling a little bit down, a little bit, our world is just really different right now. So how about tips for being a confident traveler in the future? Like things
Yeah.
that you've sort of been kind of had your finger on the pulse of things, and anything that you can offer as far as, things are going to be different in the future, no doubt about it. So
Yeah. I mean,
being
so I think
yeah.
so as far as like being a confident traveler, really at the end of the day, is coming down to like what gives you confidence? It's this understanding. And what does understanding come from? Education. So if you really take the time to educate yourself on what the travel experience will be like. Educate yourself, you know, if you happen to be particularly nervous about getting sick, or if you are very, very conscious or conscientious about spreading anything as well too, taking the time to educate yourself on what makes sense. And with that knowledge comes power and comes that confidence as well too. So I mean, really, I think that that's like the biggest thing as far as to travel confidently. If you do the research and you have an idea as far as what to expect, it's a little less daunting, and that just helps you get a sense of sort of confidence. And it's funny because I actually get asked that a lot. They're like, well, would you travel and this and that? I'm like, yeah, I would, but it's because I have immersed myself in it, and I completely I know what the experience is going to be like for the most part. Obviously, you know, you still have to live it. But I know what the experience is going to be like for the most part. I know what things could be different. I know to be mindful that things will be different. And so it's not scary to me. It's like, no, you just have to be smart about it. And yeah, things will definitely be different for some time. But, you know, and I know we're kind of talking about like, oh, we can't travel right now. But and it all depends on one's like comfort level. Yes, international, very difficult. You definitely have to scour to figure out, okay, where can I go and will I be able to get there? But domestic travel is always an option. And if you don't have to get on a plane, you can absolutely, you know, get in your car and do a road trip. And those are very popular. Actually, the video I put out today, it's like domestic travel is up by 19% this year compared to last year, because people have that travel itch. They're like, okay, I'm done with my living room. I need a break.
Yeah.
I need a break from these four walls, and they want to get out. And you know what we've really found is that road trips are a safer option. It's not foolproof. You still absolutely have to take precautions. Keep in mind, you stop at gas stations, you go out to eat, you hotels travelers and consumers are pretty confident in hotels as far as their cleanliness. And I agree. I wholeheartedly believe that hotels and certainly airlines as well have really stepped up to the plate, because this is their livelihood. This is their business. They want to make sure that who their guests, their customers are comfortable and safe. The biggest variable in all of this is the other traveler, humans, the human aspect. So you really want to just be mindful of others as far as the decisions that they're making. And similarly, you want to take ownership for yourself and be that conscious traveler, so that if you are going out and about, that you're just being mindful as well too. You're not bringing anything to a destination. And similarly, should you go to a destination, you come back, give yourself some time before you maybe go out and see 15 people.
Yeah, do a little check-in.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And yes, somebody mentioned day trips are option. So many great places in California. I have to say, my gosh, we are so lucky to live in Southern California.
I know.
I just came back from Sedona. I went to Arizona, which was a longer drive, but so worth it. And it was perfect because there were so many outdoor activities that you could feel a sense of normal, because you're not around people because of the nature of what the activities were to begin with.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just there myself actually for the 4th of July.
Nice.
And it was so hot that there's not a lot of people outside anyways. So being able to have that experience and have that buffer, it was great. And so all great tips. And I think as we wrap it up, I want to share with everyone. I posted your response to one of our questions that we sent you, and you said, I guess in honor of International Friendship Day, you said, my female friends are the foundation to my world. And for us in this place, in this that I've started building, that just really, really resonated with me, because that's one of the pillars of this this community that I want to share with everyone, is friendship and community. And so especially being female friendship, that is just something I think that we all really need now more than ever. And it may also be something that some of us are not particularly used to per se. So what can you tell us about why you said that? Like what has been your experience, and what can some of our viewers kind of take to heart moving forward in building better, stronger female friendships?
So it's interesting. For the longest time and for a good part of my life, I always had more male friends, and then I ended up being single, and I ended up developing stronger female friendships and relationships, and it, in particular to like in my particular case, as a being very goal oriented and driven, and to be able to have that connection with other females has been so grounding. And I've specifically over the past couple of months have really found a lot of appreciation in that, just because I don't have family here. I am single. I am like solo, party of one in essence. And I have found that those friendships have been nothing. They've strengthened over this past time. And it's just been that reminder that, if your friends are the family that you choose. And it's so great that we actually get to have that option. And if you choose wisely, you can really create a fantastic support group. And there is something to be said for to having that kinship, that female bond as well too. And I think it even strengthens you as a female as well. So because there's just certain conversations that you can have with your girlfriends that you might not necessarily have with a male friend, or
Right.
you're just like, I don't know if we can go there, but you can, with a female. And especially now and in this time, and in this period where really women have, and they have been over recent years, but have really stepped into their own. And it's so great to be able to support each other. And I think also it's because it kind of comes down to it's the human element, but then the extra layer on top of that is that we're also women as well. So the human element is that generally whatever you're going through, it's pretty normal. Somebody else has gone through it or had the same thought process. But then you add the extra element of the female aspect, and it's like, wow, like I'm not alone. Like I do have these thoughts or this or that. And that bond and that connection is so strong. And if anything, it just makes you feel grounded, and it makes you stronger moving forward. And to me, there's nothing more rewarding than being able to support others as they kind of grow into their dreams and start fulfilling all of their goals as well too. And it's exciting to see all of us, as they say, rise up together.
Right. Well, you've certainly done that for me. I can say, like, this has just been so great. And I look forward to a new friendship. And
yes.
So thank you so much for all of these amazing tips. I'm going to have to listen to this over again and write all the tips down and then put them out there for everyone to really take advantage of. And so thanks again, Sarah. You are amazing. You're unstoppable. And please, for anyone that wants to get more of your tips and also support what it is that you're doing in your life and your business, please share where they can find you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys are here already. And by the way, I'm seeing different people join from Dubai and Portugal and other places as well too.
So amazing.
Yeah, exactly. But I just wanted to say, you guys can find me obviously here online at Ask a Concierge. You can also go to my website, askaconcierge.tv. And so, and always kind of creating new, fun, interesting content for you guys. And find me, reach out, send a DM. I'm around.
Well, thank you so much, and happy International Friendship Day to you, Sarah.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.